Hello, everyone. This is day 9 of quarantine. It looks like we're still going to be off until at least next Wednesday. No word from the state or the school or anything as of anything past that, but we shall see. For now, I'm going to continue with these videos on acids and bases. Yesterday, you guys listened to me talk about neutralization reactions, which you then explored today or Wednesday, yesterday. Today, we're going to kind of continue on with that discussion about what happens when you mix an acid and a base, except today, we're actually going to determine the concentration of either acid or base given certain data. So this is sadly a fun lab to do in person because you get to use this phenolphthalein indicator, which turns this bright pink color. But it's going to have to, postpone for now. Hopefully, if we end up back at school, we could do it at some point. So this is going to be a relatively short lesson. It's really just one formula that you guys have to know. And then on the notes that I posted, you'll see extra practice. So after I go through 2 practice problems, you guys will do, I believe it was 7 practice problems, 7 or 9. And you'll just complete those as like your worksheet. Remember, there's going to be like a quote quiz that's not going to be graded. It'll just be a longer timed CASTLE learning assignment. That'll be your Monday assignment, and that'll really just gauge if I need to do anything more in acids bases. So again, keep your eye out for that. It'll probably open at 8 a.m. and then close at midnight, but again, it's going to be timed. So if it's a 40-minute thing and you start it at 11:30, you're not going to have time to finish it. All right, so titration. This is what we're talking about today. A titration is a technique that we use in the lab. So pretty much what it does is it tells us the concentration of an acid or a base given a known concentration. So let me explain like what you do first, and then I'll get into the math of it. But to set up a titration, you need a burette, which if you remember, looks like this. So you set up a burette. Inside of it would be base, and then in a flask, you would have acid and an indicator. Remember that burettes are read from the top down, so you read from the bottom of the meniscus. So this one would be 25.4. But pretty much what you're doing is you are putting the base that's in the burette into the acid, and the base, you know the concentration. In this case, the acid is unknown. Unknown. So by using a very specific amount of base, which we know the concentration, and again, when I say concentration, don't get confused. All I mean is molarity, or big M. Right? We know what the molarity of the base is, and we're going to empty it out into that acid with the indicator. So how do we know when to stop? How do we know when we've added enough base to neutralize all of the acid in the flask? Well, that's where this comes into account. We have a little formula for titration. MAVA equals MBVB. And each thing relates to something you guys already know. So MA is the molarity of the H plus ions, which in this case is just the acid, hence the MA. And the VA is going to be the volume of the acid. Well, if MA and VA is molarity and volume of the acid, MB and VB is going to be the same, but for the base. So in this case, it's the molarity of the OH ions. We can just think of that as the base and the volume of the base. Very simple formula. And guess what? On reference table T, right? It gives you the titration formula, MAVA equals MBVB. So very simple formula. It's going to be easy peasy except for 2 things. We have to make sure that our volumes are in the same units. What I mean by that is if we have milliliters, we have to use milliliters. If we have liters, we have to use liters. Doesn't matter. It doesn't always have to be milliliters. Doesn't always have to be liters. You just want them to be equal on both sides. Okay, so how does it work? How do we know when to stop? That's where yesterday's lesson comes into play, right? You want the moles of H plus to equal the moles of OH, because that's what a neutralization is. It's the balancing out of your H plus and your OH minus to make a neutral or pH 7 solution. So there's this point where H plus equals OH minus, which we call the equivalence point. And all the equivalence point means is that you're at a pH of 7. And what we do is we use an indicator to tell us when the equivalent point is reached. Usually, in our case, it's going to be phenolphthalein, which you've probably used in bio, but it turns this pink color in basic solutions. And with this information, we can find all the missing values. And we can solve for either the concentration of the acid, the concentration of the base, even the amount, the volume of the acid or base. But all it comes down to is this, the fact that H plus is going to be equal to OH minus, right? It's a neutralization reaction. They're balancing each other out. So let's get a little example. A student is titrating 60 milliliters of H2SO4 with 0.2 milliliters of NaOH. What is the concentration of the acid if 45 milliliters of NaOH was used to reach the equivalent point? So let's first identify what we have. We know H2SO4 is our acid from table M, I believe. The table of acids on the periodic table, the reference table. And we know that NaOH is our base. Likewise, sodium hydroxide, we can see that there's that hydroxide there, or you could just go to your reference table and see it. So let's start identifying variables. Va is equal to 60. Ma, we don't know. That's what it's asking for. It's asking for the concentration of the acid. What do we know about the base? We know that the volume of the base, or the amount, was 45 milliliters, and the molarity was 0.2 molar. And notice that I have milliliters in the volume of the acid and milliliters of the volume of the base. That's important. So MAVA equals MBVB. We just plug in our numbers, right? We're solving for MA. We know everything else. Then when we move things around, we get 0.15. So the molarity of the acid, or the concentration of the acid, is equal to 0.15 molar. Easy peasy. You just have to identify your acid, identify your base, plug in your variables, solve for the unknown. Sometimes it'll solve for the concentration, the MA or the MB. Sometimes you'll solve for the volume. Depends on the question. And again, we know this is done because it tells us it's reached the equivalence point. Let's try another one. A student adds 3 drops of phenolphthalein to a flask containing 25 milliliters of HCl. The student adds 0.15 molar NaOH to the flask until the indicator turns the solution light pink. The student determines that a total volume of 20.2 milliliters of NaOH was used in this titration. Calculate the molarity of the HCl used in this titration. A lot of words. First off, let's find our acid and our base. So our acid in this scenario is going to be HCl, hydrochloric acid, right? Again, on the reference table. Our base is going to be NaOH, sodium hydroxide. Once we find out what the acid and the base are, we're just going to be using MAVA equals MBVB. And if we're going to be using that, we need to identify our variables. So what's your MA? What's your VA? Let's get that from the problem. Does it tell us the molarity of the acid? In this case, no. That is our unknown, or our X. Our volume of the acid says it right here, 25 milliliters. What about our base? MB. As you can tell, I still haven't gotten a stylus, so bear with me a little bit. Molarity of our base says it in the problem, 0.15. And our volume says it in the problem, 20.2 milliliters. So when we set this up, all we have to do is plug in our numbers. X for our MA, 25 for our VA equals 0.15 times 20.2. When we solve for X, you will get an answer of 0.12 molar. Nice and simple. So again, identify your acid, identify your base, set up this little box over here. I know it seems stupid, but it will help you organize the information and just plug it in. In this case, we're solving for the concentration. You may have to solve for the volume. So you'll see on the rest of the note sheet, there are practice problems. So all you're going to do is finish up those practice problems, hand in the sheet, and that's it. Tomorrow, we're actually, let me give you a little preview of what we're doing. We're actually going to be talking about the indicators. So phenolphthalein is one indicator that you can use. There are a bunch of other ones. So tomorrow, we're just going to practice using different acid-base indicators and the colors they change. Because phenolphthalein goes from clear to pink. There's a bunch of other ones that turn different colors. Sort of like the universal indicator that we started this unit with. Remember that one that went from the bluish green to the bright red and then back? That's another type of indicator. It's actually a mixture of 3 or 4 different ones. So we'll break that down, finish up the last reference table for this unit, and then I'll give you a little bit of practice. So enjoy another day of remote learning. If you guys need anything, again, my office hours are 9:30 to 11 and then 12 to 1:30. Shoot me a remind, email me, whatever you need to do to get in touch. All right, thank you.